you're here now, and that's the main thing.
Yay.
So, when did you first pick up a guitar?
So, I was bought my first guitar when I was 10. I wanted one earlier, but my parents wouldn't get me one. So I started playing guitar when I was 10.
No, what did you have lessons then, or did you pick it up yourself, or?
Yeah, I didn't have lessons for a while. I think I got my first real teacher. I mean, I had some friends try to teach me a few things here and there, and that went okay, but it took me a couple years till I was about 13 to get a teacher. And then when I was 16, I went to music school for guitar at the Musicians Institute in Hollywood.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, with are you based in Hollywood now, or are you elsewhere?
Right now I'm in Florida, but usually pre-COVID, I was living in the UK, just outside of London. So
All right.
yeah,
Whereabouts by Windsor, is it?
pretty close actually. Just it's called it's like Hampton, Molesey area, just right next to Kingston.
Oh, brilliant.
Where
So
are you?
what music did you grow up listening to?
Oh, well, my dad well, both my parents are born in the 40s, so they loved music from the 40s and 50s, and so lots of doo-wop and jazz, as well as opera as well. My dad was a really big opera fan, so it wasn't until I was older that I really got into, more of kind of the 60s and 70s style music.
Yeah.
So I was pretty diverse as a kid. Most people were listening to Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears, and I think I went.
The old Britney Spears.
Yeah.
So you grew up learning guitar. When did you first like fall in love with playing the guitar and thinking, right, I'm going to do this as a career?
Well, that's a good question because I started singing really young in a choir at 5. So when I picked up the guitar, to me it just felt like an extension of the fact that I'd always just been playing music. I never thought about it as a career until I was about, I'd say, 16. And I had to get my first job, and it was like, wait, I can't just play guitar for a living. I have to like do other things. And so I think the moment that I realized that I needed to make a living, that was when I was like, okay, I guess I should make this my job because this is what I love to do.
So did you when starting out, did you like do clubs, or did you just decide to write your own material and go from there?
Well, I was playing as a guitar player for other people, so I was doing clubs, but because I was underage, it was hard to sneak me into the clubs. But
Yeah.
I had some people who could do that, and I wasn't interested in drinking anyway. So in the U.S., as you know, the drinking age is 21, so it's
Yeah.
quite a bit longer than the U.K. So yeah, I started doing that. Of course, I had to do other side gigs in the meantime. I had all sorts of jobs to make a living while I was really trying to just be a full-time musician. And it wasn't until I'd say maybe 21, 22 that I became like a fully professional musician and not didn't need a side job anymore.
Oh, brilliant. Your last album, Suspension Dimension, is stunning. It's absolutely gorgeous. Um it's a fresh of breath air, breath of fresh air, sorry. Um can you tell me a bit about the writing, how long it took you to write the album, whereabouts you recorded it, etc.?
Sure. So Suspension Dimension was recorded in Nashville, Tennessee. My friend Michael Wagner's studio called Wire World. And Michael Wagner is an amazing producer. He's more known for his metal work. I mean, think bands like Great White, I know he'd mixed for Metallica, White Lion, a lot of 80s style kind
Yeah.
of hair bands. Um, so he's an amazing engineer, and I wrote most of the songs in Nashville, and I was pretty proud of that album. It wasn't a concept album or anything. They were all just the strongest songs that I thought were, what would people want, what
Yeah.
would people want to listen to, that I based it off of playing live music. So I'd play the songs and then see if people would react to them, and then I'd throw them on an album. So thank you. Thanks for listening to it.
So, when you were in Nashville, was it something which you've always dreamed about recording at, with the history with Nashville?
Um, yeah, I moved to Nashville in 2015, and it was never somewhere that I had imagined being. I mean, I was living in LA before I moved to Nashville, so um, of course they're both music cities, but Nashville wasn't something I had my eyes set on, because I guess mainly I always thought it was a country town, which I know now that that's not necessarily the case. I mean, it's primarily
Yeah.
country, but there's other stuff. But that said, I got to work with some amazing musicians and get to experience recording in Nashville. So that's pretty cool.
You recently released the new single, Peace of Mind. Once again, it's an amazing song. You must be excited to share the full album, which has come from.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited about it. It was a different approach than Suspension Dimension, in a sense that I wanted some more upbeat stuff. Suspension
Yeah.
Dimension was for the most part pretty slow record, and I didn't record a lot of it live. The rhythm tracks with the drums and bass were live, but I wanted to take a different conceptual approach as I wrote the album. So it was a completely different approach, but I think they go together really well, and I'm excited for people to hear it and see what they think. It was definitely experimental in a lot of ways, so
Yeah,
excited.
the single's fantastic. When did you start writing that, and was there something which you planned before COVID, or was there something with all the concerts stopping, something which you thought, right, I can get myself into now?
That's a good question. So the whole album was actually written in, oh man, I'd say mid 2019, and then I recorded it in October of 2019, and it was crowdfunded. So I thought it was going to be coming out in March or April of 2020, but then of course COVID hit, and I was supposed to be wrapping the album release around the guitar, and that got delayed because of the factory being shut down due to COVID. So I pushed back the release of the record a year, longer than initially planned. So um, I wrote all the music before any of this stuff, and it's funny now, like some of the songs are ahead of their time, like Digital World, and how heavily we have to rely on the internet, especially now. But also, people laugh at me because of the song "I'd Rather Be in England." They're like, "Would you rather be in England right now?" And I'm like, uh. I don't really feel. I mean, it's such a weird time, but yeah, all this was written before COVID, before all this craziness.
Was it when COVID hit? Was there something which you just thought, look, I'm going to have to postpone this, or did you have thoughts about, well, if I release it now, I can focus on the release, or was it just the other way around where you thought, right, I want to release this when I can tour?
Yeah, I mean, that was always the intention, was I'll release this when I can tour it. And then of course, as time went on, we realized that that might be a while, especially if you would have told me March of last year that it would be another year and a half, 2 years before I would tour again, I would have freaked out. So, as time progressed, we realized that, hey, it's better to have it out. I can work on something new in the meantime,
Yeah.
and I
And
can always tour it. next year.
Have you been writing during COVID? 'Cause you're saying that you wrote most of the or the album prior to COVID. Have you been writing since COVID?
Not as much as I wish that I did. Mainly just because I've been so focused on the release of this, and also trying to gain some sense of normalcy. For a while, I just didn't have any inspiration, but I'm starting to write more and starting to collect some new songs for the next album. But it's a bit slower than I'm used to, but slowly but surely.
You with the single, you obviously released a music video with it. Where was it filmed, and how long did it take to complete the actual music video?
Well, it was funny because we actually chose the song off of my new album. We chose the title track, Digital World, as the single, and then my publicist said that that's not the best single. So then we changed it. So I actually had another music video that will come out, I'm sure, at a later date. So what I did, thankfully, was I put together a behind the scenes music video. That's the real footage of my band and I recording that song, Peace of Mind, to tape. So it was filmed at the recording studio called Welcome to 1979, located in Nashville. And that's the actual recording. And then, it took me a few days just to piece the footage together, but I'm really grateful I had it because I didn't have any other video for it.
So you yourself edited it and put it all together. You didn't have somebody else do it. Is all your creation?
Yeah, it was just me.
No, brilliant.
Thank you.
Right, we've got to talk about guitars.
Yay.
And how did it come about working with Brian May?
So, I've been playing my guitar two-tone for about 13 years now, pretty much exclusively. And a few years ago, people just kept asking me, "Hey, where do I get one of your guitars?" And I just said, nowhere. I'm the only person who plays them. I had no idea anyone would want them.
Yeah.
So what I did was I decided that my friend and we were just going to make guitars ourselves and then offer them, in maybe one or two a month, and made in the US, and probably just kind of put a high price tag on it, and that'd be it. So I've known Brian since 2007, and I was touring the UK, and we were having a little get together for lunch in May of 2018, I believe. And I was telling him about the guitar, and I was saying, "Hey, I'm doing this guitar. It's going to be really great." And he asked me, "Well, who's putting out the guitars?" Just my friend and I. And he said, "Well, why doesn't Brian May Guitars do it for you?" And that's how it started. That's the last thing I ever expected to happen. And so instead of making an identical replica of two-tone, what we've done is we've made I guess a bit of a mishmash hybrid guitar of the best features of Brian's guitar and the best features of mine to create a new guitar for people.
Oh, I saw the press release of the guitars, and I was like, oh, yeah, because that's one thing which I love is guitars, and I was like, wow, these are stunning, absolutely stunning.
Oh, thank you.
With the new album coming out in May, have you got anything exciting planned for the release? Social media or live stream or anything like that?
That's a pretty good idea. That's a really good idea. I don't currently, but I would like to. I would like to have something really cool that I do. Maybe like you said, maybe it's a live stream, or I guess live streams are, well, some people do pre-recorded live streams, but like a concert, maybe a full
Yeah.
band. I don't have a plan yet. I wasn't planning on anything neat like that, but I think that's a really good idea. So maybe
Yeah,
I'll take your
there's
advice.
quite a lot of artists which have come out, especially in the UK, which have gone to to doing live stream, and they've been putting out so that people purchase tickets to go and see it, or some of them have just gone on into their own house and just gone live. So it would be absolutely fantastic to see a live stream of one of your concerts. It would be fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think that's a really great idea. Thank you.
So with social media, have you been doing anything to stay connected to your fans?
Well, I've been really trying. To be honest, it's so hard because I don't always well, especially lately, I've been so focused on the release of this and doing interviews and stuff. I don't always have a ton of time to be creating new content, but I'm really trying to stay on top of it now with the latest thing I'm trying to do is record some content with the guitar. So I'm trying to show the guitar, like doing jazz, doing rock, and showing the guitar in different ways and having good audio so you can really hear what the guitar sounds like. But I'm also working on a new music video for my next single, Inside and Outside. And then now it seems like I'm going to try to plan something really fun for May 7th too, when the album comes out. So I am trying to create more content, but the content that I'm creating is just taking a little bit longer, I think.
Yeah, it's with hopefully now that you're going to plan something for the album release, that should keep you occupied, and your fans are just going to jump at it. They really, really. It's something which, like I say, so many artists, especially over in the UK, which have gone down that route, and it's become it's taken on a life of its own, live streaming, and it would be, like I say, fantastic to your new material live. It'd be great.
That's a really fantastic idea. So I'm already concocting ideas in my head to.
Whatever money you make, you gotta give me 50%.
Oh, okay.
Finally, I'll let you go in a second. Finally, with COVID hopefully coming to an end soon, with the vaccinations, will we be seeing you in the UK in the near future?
Absolutely. So, as mentioned, I've got my little flat just outside of London, so I'm going to come back. I'm going to be working with my band, and I'm going to be putting together some touring for next year, either in the spring or in the summer. And we'll be touring the UK again because it's my favorite place to tour. I love playing in the UK, and I play all over too. I don't just play the big cities.
Yeah. Well, it's been absolutely fantastic speaking to you, and I wish you all the success with the album release. I wish you all the success with the guitar release, and I hope to see you very, very soon in the UK.
Thank you, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and check out my stuff. Thank you. This was really fun.
No, thank you. It's been brilliant. Thank you anyway for this, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, see you really soon. Take care. Stay warm.
Okay, bye.
Bye.